It's just an... This is my annoying sister-in-law. We're gonna move in together and it's gonna be awful. Yay! Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to a kind of more serious toned video. Y'all seem to really like my well, there are a bunch of you who like me to rant, but then there are others who are like, I just like your more opinionated videos where you give kind of more in-depth thoughts, you know, not just videos that are like, ooh, let me review a palette, or ooh, look at these pretty makeup. Videos with a little bit more substance to them and a little less fluff. So today, I am going to be talking about marketing techniques that I really hate. Now, some of these, the majority of marketing, this is not exclusive to the beauty world. There are techniques that are used by all different kinds of companies, all different kinds of whatevers. But I'm gonna be talking about my experience with some of these techniques and this whole how we sell things and things that kind of rub me the wrong way, annoy me, or things that just, yeah, y'all know how I get sometimes. And this is kind of the precursor. I am planning a much bigger, more research and in-depth video talking about if marketing and consumerism is psychological warfare. Spoiler alert. It is. But before we get into that, obviously, let's just get into this. This is not, I didn't do no research. This is just from my own experience. I'm just expressing my whatevers to you. Okay, this is, I feel, definitely a beauty community thing. And this is when, a palette is released and it is a bunch of neutrals with a pop of blue. That was the trend last year. Or a pop of purple, a pop of pink, a pop of green. Too Faced is really known for this. I think Smashbox has done. I feel like most brands have probably committed this sin. And so you have that. You just have the existence of the palette that is basically what they do is they lure you in with that pop. You look at it and you're like, wow, that blue is so pretty. Of course it's pretty because it's been arranged around a bunch of boring neutrals that you already own and have. They make it in such a way that you zone in on that color. And even if you have 12 other colors exactly like it, for some reason, that one is just so elusive and so beautiful. And the other thing I hate that they do about this is so they'll release this palette that's, for example, we'll be like, all right, chocolate bar, pop of blue, really vivid, bright blue. And then when they're doing promo pictures, they did this in the Natural Lust palette, they had a green and a red or whatever, but the promo pictures, none of the promo pictures ooh, look at this really simple brown eye I did, which is 90% of the palette. It was, oh, look at this lustful, decadent, delicious green and red look I did, which are 2 shades in the palette. So not only have they got that pop of color going on, they're marketing it on 2 shades. They're not showing you, oh look, here's the everyday whatever brown look. They're like, we gotta make it exotic, we gotta make it exciting, because if they took those colors out, no one would buy it. Okay, this is, I think, less of a marketing and, I don't know. I took one business class and I struggled. That was a while ago, so maybe I'm a little bit better now, but I'm not the most business, your girl is not Jeffree Star savvy. But when skincare is marketed to me by a famous person and a rich person. Obviously, y'all are thinking, girl, is she talking about Kylie Cosmetics? Yes, I talk about Kylie Cosmetics, although that is just one example in the firmament. Any celebrity or any, like I said, famous person, rich people, because, and I've ranted about this before, I hate the idea of, this rich person who has money for facials, who has money for microneedling, who has money for laser hair removal, who has money for Botox, who has money for filler. I'm like, I look at that and I know it's not the skincare that is doing that. Maybe the skincare is helping, but skincare is not gonna inject filler under my eyes. It's just not. The radical results that they are promising, you're gonna look like this person. I'm like, I'm gonna look like that person if I invest like $100,000 into the total reconstruction of my face. It is just coming from such an unreliable source because, like, you know, I mean, yeah, sure, maybe they do use it, but you've still got this example that is so far removed from what this skincare could actually do, especially, I know I harp on it a lot, but especially Kylie's skincare, because the price point she has, the ingredients she has, you know, that stuff ain't gonna do nothing, let alone make you look like Kylie Jenner. And I'm all about skincare, but I'm all about skincare. Show me a real person. Show me someone, you know, who's living on coffee and the sheer will to survive. Let me know how their dark circles look after using this stuff. That would be impressive. You know, show me some real results on some real people. That's what matters. And so, like, this stuff, you know, and the whole, like, you know, well, they're marketing it because it's the celebrity and because people do want to look like that. They're like, hey, if I use this skincare, it's like brainwashing, where we're so like caught up in the I need to look like that we don't take a step back and take stock of like, but wait, the likelihood of me actually looking like that, it's just I hate it. Skincare should not be marketed like makeup. Skincare is not something that you can just, oh, I'm gonna switch it up every day. No, it needs to be consistent. It needs to be tested. Just no. Okay, this one is just kind of funny. This is marketing I hate. It's an effective technique. It's a technique that's been used since the dawn of email, and that is constant, unnecessary, incessant emails. Because I understand. I mean, I try my darndest whenever I'm going on a site and they're like, well, get 15% off by typing in your email. Get 15% off by signing up for text alerts. And all that's doing is giving them access into my daily life so I can get 12 emails from Two-Faced in one day talking about, ooh, hey, get 10% off this, and ooh, Minnie's this, and this, and this, and this. Or I can get like an email from Sephora. I will look at an item. Like, I will look at an item I will look up an item to link it for you guys in my description box, and then I'll get an email from Sephora. That beauty you were looking at, don't forget to buy it. Like, I was just looking at it. Or when you like fill out your cart to see how poor you are and what you can't buy, and then you get the email that's like, oh, you forgot some things in your cart. I'm like, I know, I did that on purpose because I'm poor. And just like, oh my stars, I know it's a thing, but the amount of just cold, and I understand because occasionally, see, this is how, you know, you'll get like, you know, 50 emails and one of them will stick, and that's fine. That's great. Sending an email costs them nothing, and it's my own fault for eventually giving in and signing up your email, but you put your email in when you make an order on these sites, and that's how they get you. And then they got your email, and then they've got your phone number, and these people, these companies are going to be sending you emails to the grave. You're going to be in the coffin, and they're going to be banging on it, being like, hey, there's a sale. It's just so overwhelming. Like, it's more annoying than anything else. I mean, yeah, you've got the bombardment of, oh, they're having a sale, or oh, this is happening, or this is happening. So that you've got that pressure going on. And then you've got just the straight up annoyance of being like, I have all these stupid, useless emails that I have to delete, especially when you're waiting for like an email that you're waiting to come in, and you get a ding and you're like, oh my goodness. And it's Two-Faced telling me I could get a mini better than sex mascara if I spend $45 on their site in the next 10 hours. It's a lot of stress I don't need in my life. And I understand it's a very tried and true marketing technique. I mean, just the email straight up and then the bombardment method. I mean, it's a thing. It's annoying, as all get out, and I hate it, and I need to go through and just, because you can go in and be all like, I don't want to receive emails no more. I just haven't done it because I'm lazy. Okay, this is kind of a double-edged sword. It's not the product in and of itself typically, and the act in and of itself I don't hate, but sort of how it's become this giant hub of just, okay, collab products. You know, when a brand collaborates with a fancy famous person. Anastasia has done this a crap ton this year. BH Cosmetics, Makeup Revolution, Too Faced does it a lot. And like the product in and of itself, that's fine, that's whatever. But whenever you take the whole concept of collab and you're not even like, especially with Too Faced, you're not even giving a crap about the makeup. What matters is the selling it. What matters is like, we're gonna take the most boring eyeshadow palette, we're gonna slap this person's face on it, and that's gonna sell it for us. Not the quality of the makeup, not the uniqueness of the makeup. We're probably gonna put it in really pretty packaging, because collaborations used to be like a far and few and in between. And while I'm all down for everyone getting a collaboration, everyone deserves to be recognized for their passion and their ingenuity, and that's fantastic. But when it comes down to the novelty rather than the quality, and when they come out so blinking much, I mean, I think it was BH Cosmetics that literally just had like collab after collab. Like every product they were releasing was a collab, which, like I said, don't knock the hustle. These people need to get their coin, but like it makes it so it's not special anymore. I'm not saying every makeup release has to be special and amazing and inventive. I mean, those days are long gone. But when it's really just shilling via person, shilling via collab, you know, and there's just there's that kind of break from it being this like long and in-depth and involved thing, and it's more like just get a bunch of colors, slap it in a palette, and slap someone's name and face on it, and we're good. The thought and the intricacy is gone. So it's not that I hate the products, it's that I hate kind of what it's turned into, and how collaborations, which used to be this like special and unique and really cool thing, has just turned into another like major marketing way to shill stuff to us. Okay, this is all right. Whenever you got a product, products like Tartelette, Naked Palettes, Chocolate Bar, Too Faced Peach, when something does well, and then the brand takes the fame of that product and beats it to death. Case in point, Too Faced and the Peach. We had the original Peach palette. Really popular, mostly because there wasn't really like a neutrally warmy, peachy, greeny palette on the market. And then they're like, you know what people need? You know what people want? Peach blushes, peach highlighters, another peach palette, peach lipsticks, peach powders, peach face palette, a whole shebang bang of peach products, because that palette did so well. Obviously people love peach stuff. Well, we really did. And then you took it out and you beat it, and we just were just you know. And whenever you release these, like another thing that Too Faced does that I hate, that's like the huge collections, huge, because Too Faced is like, you know, Too Faced, could you release one product? We were kind of thinking like 30, but again, with like, you know, the Naked palettes, you know, where you just keep releasing another incarnation of the same thing because that thing used to be popular. And I'm fine, you know, things being a classic, you know, Naked Palettes classic, Chocolate Bar, you know, that kind of thing. But there comes a point when you need to make something new. And there comes a point when doing the same thing and using the same tropes and the same whateverness gets really tiring. But they do it because, I mean, me, for a long time, I was a naked pat collector. I was a chocolate bar collector. You know, I did do that because they know there is a marketing hole to be filled for people who do collect, for people who do rely on the classics. And, you know, this is something that we know, that we're used to, we're familiar with. And so we just keep pushing that because it's safe. Okay, this is something that, once again, double-edged sword going on here. Packaging. Now, I don't mean, you know, when packaging is done well, packaging can be just the final icing, the cherry on top of that cupcake. But when you take packaging and you start mixing that with holiday, and we get things like the two-faced friggin' Christmas star, we get things like the two-faced pull-apart 3 different palettes, you get this... When packaging alone becomes the selling point of a product, because we all know, we've all been there. We all have that 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 products in our collection that we bought for the packaging or we're keeping for the packaging. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say about the Smashbox and Vlada highlighters, well, the highlighter inside is okay, but that packaging, though, it's going to be buried with me. And I hate it when it literally becomes, like especially with holiday and Too Faced. I mean, I feel like this marketing I hate. Basically, I hate Too Faced. This is why I'm never going to be on anyone's PR list. But when you've got like all this, basically what I hate is when packaging becomes the selling point of a product and when packaging overrides good quality makeup. Like we spent all the time, all the budget on this, you know, friggin' ornate Christmas 3D tree. And we're like, well, I guess all we have in budget to fill these eyeshadows with is dirt. I mean, take the budget that you had for like 12,000 products this holiday and maybe condense it into like 1 or 2 and you'd have money for packaging and a good formulation. But no. We need a fold-out Game of Thrones situation going on. We need a holiday gingerbread house. We need 3D imprinted something. And I like packaging. I do. But I like packaging as like an added bonus. I like packaging and I appreciate it a lot more when the product inside is bomb-tastic. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes to these super crazy packaging, it's like they're blinding you. They're like, look how pretty this is. And maybe if we would distract them enough with that, they'll be too like wowed and in awe to even like realize the horrible makeup we put inside this thing. Okay, this is something that I really, limited edition. Okay. When something is limited edition, I'm fine. I'm down. Back when the Vice palettes were a thing, they would come out, they were a limited run, I would buy them, and they'd go away. That was limited edition that I could rely on. And I don't mind something being limited edition and then it being like so popular, aka Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, limited edition, so popular, we make it permanent. What I hate is when something is limited edition and it stays limited edition forever. Because part of the shilling of limited edition is that it's not going to be here forever. You got to buy it now or it's going to be gone. Limited edition anymore, you're like, well, if I don't get it now, it'll be here probably next year still. There are some Anastasia palettes that are limited edition that are still in the Sephora on the Sephora site. Just sitting there, happy as can be, chilling limited edition. And so I just like, it's just so freaking frustrating. You know, good limited edition examples are the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, the Vice palettes, and my brain just went out on me. But when you have something be limited edition and you hype it up and you're like, oh my goodness, it's limited edition. And then it's limited edition literally forever. Limited edition means nothing now. It could be a limited edition and it could be here for 2 years as limited edition. It could be limited edition when in reality it's permanent, but we got to stamp limited edition on it so that people will buy it, so it'll be hyped up. Limited edition is just a trigger buzzword. Doesn't actually mean anything about the product, although nowadays typically it means crappy quality. And then kind of like we're gonna touch on holiday, and another thing that I hate. When you have like they release their holiday stuff and they're like, oh, look at this, we're charging $63. And in reality, it's a value of $289. Like, I can't remember, I think it was one of the Tarte palettes and it was all like, 50 something dollars, and it was like, but it's a value of 120. I'm like, when have you sold your palettes for 120? What makes this based on your other makeup retail prices? What makes that worth 120? What makes it worth 50? I just hate that because it's a lie. It's a lie. Anytime they do these things where they're like, except for maybe like skincare sets and stuff like that, because the cumulative price, whatever, that could be, yeah. But when it's just like an eyeshadow palette or like this little like bundle thing, like Tarte does it, and they're like, well, it's an eyeshadow palette with blush, with lipstick, with lip gloss, with everything you could possibly want. And they're like, we're selling it for $45, but it's worth $200. That is like the biggest like loss right there. It's worth $200, but give it to you for $50. I hate that because I look at it and it's an obvious like, oh, I have to buy this because it's such a great deal, because it's like, it's worth all this, but I'm getting it for this. They are so loving and wonderful to me that they're going to give it to me for this amazing price. Now they're not. The price is built in to the whatever. It's just a ploy to suck you in and make you think that you're getting more than you actually are. That's why I just like, you look at it and you're like literally, they're just like, when, how, what? Nothing about your previous price points of having, like that whole Tarte one just blew my mind, because I'm like, how can it be worth that much money if you've never sold a palette for that much money before? And I understand it has a lot of eyeshadows in it, but dang, that markup. All right, I'm gonna stop complaining now. I have other points, but we're sitting at like 38 minutes. And y'all know I ain't about that editing a 40-minute long video life. Obviously, let me know what you think about the thoughts and points I made. This is just me discussing my own personal whatevers. This isn't, like I said, any kind of in-depth or conspiracy conception. It's just me whining. But definitely let me know what you think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah.